Good morning, this is TVP World. You're watching World News. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and these are the latest headlines. At least 3 people were killed overnight in Ukraine during large-scale drone and missile attacks across the country. The regional governor said on Telegram that strikes in the western Lviv region claimed 2 lives. The attacks near Ukraine's western border prompted Poland to scramble fighter jets early Sunday to protect its airspace. Reuters reports that air raid alerts were in effect across the country for several hours. Late Saturday, strikes on the southeastern Zaporizhia region left 1 person dead and 9 injured, according to local officials. More than 73,000 people in the area were left without power. Lviv resident Piotr Kaszuwara, president of the UA Future Foundation, told TVP World that the city endured about 4 hours of continuous attacks in the early hours of Sunday.
I am in the place where the rescue action is going on from early morning, because this particular place was hit in the Russian attack this night in the suburbs of Lviv. You see only ruins, but just yesterday, a few hours ago, here was a house with the whole family. Unfortunately, this family got killed here. We know about 4 people dead at least, and you can see also at least 1, 2, 3 houses that are completely destroyed, and many other houses all around are damaged without the windows, a lot of destroyed cars, and a lot of firefighters and medics, and also the army is here to help to remove the destroyings made by the Russians this night.
A day after the Czech parliamentary elections, the political situation remains uncertain. Andrej Babiš is celebrating a strong result, but mainstream parties have ruled out forming a coalition with his movement. That leaves coalition talks expected to be difficult. President Petr Pavel has also indicated that he may resist appointing a government led by Babiš. Aleksandra Bulenda is in Prague with more. So Aleksandra, what's the latest on the political consultations?
Well, populists may have won the night, but the day after paints a far more divided picture. Now, the Czech Republic wakes up to politically split down the middle, with coalition math more complicated than ever. Now, while Andrej Babiš's ANO surged past 34%, gaining more. Gaining nearly 8 points more since 2021. They did so by cannibalizing its own allies, the far-right SPD party and the fragmented left that did not enter parliament. The governing bloc of Spolu, Mayors and Pirates still holds exactly what they did 4 years ago. That is 43.4% combined. Now, outgoing Prime Minister Petr Pavel conceded defeat, but not without warning what's at stake.
I have met an enormous number of people who have expressed concerns about what might happen if populists and nationalist extremists were to win in this country. Unfortunately, that is what has happened. These political forces now have a majority. In the coming months and years, we must do everything we can to offer hope to those who don't want populists and extremists ruling our country, and provide them with a realistic path to victory over these political forces.
Coalition building might be harder than it looks. Now, the Pirates have ruled out any talks with ANO, SPD or motorists, cutting off key potential alliances.
Our post-election strategy is absolutely clear. We will not join forces with ANO. We will not join forces with motorists for themselves. And we will not join forces with SPD. The question of the Stachilo coalition is now a thing of the past. I think that this, to a certain extent, predetermines how things will develop. But in any case, we will not be conducting any negotiations tonight.
Andrej Babiš has begun his post-election talks already around 8 a.m. today. In fact, driving himself to the Prague castle in his signature Ano campaign van for a meeting with President Petr Pavel. And this moment, captured widely in the Czech media, became symbolic of his populist approach. And before the vote, President Petr Pavel told TVP World that he would use his constitutional powers to keep the country anchored in NATO and the EU and scrutinize Babiš's business ties before granting a mandate to govern. And today, or so it seems, the scrutiny begins. Back to you.
It does seem like the election is over, but the dust has yet to settle, so please keep us posted. Meanwhile, appreciate it. Authorities in Lithuania reopened Vilnius airport earlier on Sunday after it was closed for several hours due to reports of balloons possibly entering its airspace.
The closure affected a series of overnight flights, with most incoming flights redirected to Latvia and Poland while departures were cancelled. The local public broadcaster LRT cited the head of the country's national crisis management as saying late on Saturday that 13 balloons were heading towards Vilnius airport. European aviation has repeatedly been thrown into chaos in recent weeks by drone sightings and air incursions, including at airports in Copenhagen and Munich. In August, Lithuania declared a 90-kilometre no-fly zone along its border with Belarus in response to drones entering from there.
Polls have closed in Georgia's local elections, with the ruling Georgian Dream Party winning about 76% of the vote. The election saw a low turnout amid a widespread boycott, and tens of thousands of people took to the streets. Six people were injured in a shooting in the Swedish city of Gävle. Police have launched an attempted murder investigation and questioned a 14-year-old suspect.
The wounded individuals were taken to the hospital and their conditions were initially unclear. The 6 people injured in the incident are young adults. Some of them are under 18 years old. According to the latest information, none of the injured are in life-threatening condition. 4 remain hospitalized, while 2 have been discharged and allowed to go home.
Norway is stepping up efforts to secure NATO's eastern flank. Following the defense minister's decision, Norwegian pilots deployed to Poland will be authorized to shoot down any objects violating Polish airspace. The move comes as Norway begins deploying a squadron of F-35 fighter jets to Poland.
According to the Norwegian Deputy Defense Minister, his country's aircraft will be capable of intercepting objects violating Polish airspace. He added that the commander of NATO allied forces in Europe will decide on a case-by-case basis whether to intervene.
Our mission in Poland will primarily be to defend NATO territory against airborne threats. We will be ready to intercept objects violating Polish airspace.
Last month, Poland's airspace was violated with some 20 Russian drones, some of which were downed with the help of allied countries' aircraft. The latest deployment of Norwegian F-35 fighter jets to Poland is the second such mission this year. For TVP World, Randy Potts.
French President Emmanuel Macron has given Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu until Sunday evening to form a new government, with the lineup expected by Monday morning, according to French media reporting citing the presidential circle. Lecornu earlier promised the cabinet would be ready before Parliament resumes on October 6th. But the Republicans have set conditions, linking their participation to immigration policy. Their leader, Bruno Retailleau, is said to have met the Prime Minister on Saturday evening. On Tuesday, Leconu is expected to present his general policy declaration in Parliament, the first chance for the opposition to file a no-confidence motion, which the far-left France Unbowed has already announced that it will do. The Financial Times reports that the European Union is preparing to unveil a new plan to promote homegrown artificial intelligence platforms that can compete with the US and China. The European Commission's new Apply AI strategy will promote European-made artificial intelligence tools to improve AI use in sectors including healthcare, defense, and manufacturing. Officials fear the EU could fall behind global competitors, leaving Europe with little influence over how AI develops. The draft proposal also highlights goals of boosting security, resilience, and industrial competitiveness. The final version is due to be presented on Tuesday. FIFA has unveiled the official ball design for the 2026 World Cup. Made by Adidas, the ball highlights the national identity of the three host nations, Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
This is the Trionda, the newly unveiled FIFA World Cup ball, which celebrates a historic first when three nations will come together to co-host the games.
USA, Mexico and Canada all coming together in one event was obviously a really exciting design challenge for us, because how do you represent these three incredible countries in one ball design? And I think you can see that we took a very literal interpretation to make sure that all of these countries were very balanced.
Designed by Adidas, the ball takes its name from Spanish three waves, intertwining representations of all three nations.
You have the red for Canada, you have the green for Mexico, the blue for the US. You also have the maple leaf, the eagle and the star. And these details are then big in these panels of the ball, but also then in incredible micro detail across the full structure.
Football fans and legends alike applaud the design and await with bated breath to see it in action.
The ball is perfect. May the competition begin. I think people are looking forward to the competition kicking off so they can enjoy this World Cup.
The final draw will take place on December 5th in Washington, D.C.
The Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam is opening an exhibition on everyday life in the 17th century. Among the Baroque pieces on display is a finely crafted dollhouse showing how people lived hundreds of years ago.
This dollhouse is over 300 years old. Right now, the curators at Amsterdam's iconic Rijksmuseum are going through the painstaking process of moving the dollhouse bit by bit to a new location, where it will be on display starting October 17th.
The dollhouse contains over 700 items. The items have been removed from the dollhouse one at a time and packed up. Now they are being unpacked and carefully put back in place. We can now touch this, examine it carefully and very carefully put it back. We're not allowed to play with it, but it certainly feels like that somewhat.
The dollhouse is lined with tortoiseshell and pewter and filled with hundreds of miniature works of art. It was crafted in the 1680s for Petronella Ootman, the young bride of a wealthy merchant.
It took her 25 years to amass all of these little items. She had almost everything custom-made to size for her dollhouse, so it was more of a work of art than a toy.
Petronella's dollhouse will be one of the main attractions of the upcoming exhibition called At Home in the 17th Century, exploring everyday life in the times of Vermeer and Rembrandt.
And with that, we conclude this edition of World News. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.